Welcome to Rock Your Life with Ariane Alexander. Today's guest is me. This is a solo episode because I get so many questions from listeners, from people on Instagram, from my clients about how to manifest everything you want, how to create your heart's desire, how to follow your dreams. So as I continue to interview guests in this area and find out what they think about how to manifest and how to create the life of your dreams, I wanted to share with you my experience of coaching for so many years as a life and business coach, of what I do with myself and clients to really help them manifest and move forward. So today, it's all about creating what you love. That's why it's called Rock Your Life, because I want you to rock your life, and you can. So I'm just going to start with this whole topic of manifestation, which is a big topic. And I don't even like that word, manifestation, but it's what so many people use. So you probably are familiar with it. And I'm sure that you've had experiences in your life. If you're listening, obviously, to this radio show, then you're wanting to create something more. You're wanting to rock your life. You're wanting to, make more money, or have the relationship of your dreams, or have the body of your dreams, have the health you desire. And all of those things are very, very possible, and always possible for whatever it is you decide you want to go for. So what I encourage you to do is listen into everything I'm speaking about today as if it's your roadmap, your life to what you're actually creating and what you want to create, and walk through this process with me with the thing that you do want to create, that you want to manifest. So what's the dream in your life? What's the thing that you think about that you really would like to create for yourself? Is it more money? Is it health? Is it this relationship of your dreams? Is it a new house? Is it, is it to lose 10 pounds? Every one of you has a different goal in mind and a different dream in mind. And that's what's so exciting about dreams and creation, is every single person does have a different thing they want to manifest. Yours could be, I want to create a business that I'm really excited about. So anyway, choose your dream, this thing that you are excited about and that you want to create. And just think about that as we walk through this today. And you'll get some nuggets out of this episode of Rock Your Life with Ariane Alexander. So whether you're driving in your car, or you're listening to this Dash radio station at work, or you're listening to it at the gym or wherever, just give yourself this time with me to dream big, to look at life in a different way, to think of possibilities in your life that can be created, and you never know what's going to come out of it. So, all right. Have you got your thing that you want to create? Have you got this thing that you're thinking about, that you have dreamt about? And maybe you don't even have something that you really are excited about and you want to create, and that's okay too. So, because I think there's some, let's call it, challenges in how some people talk about manifestation. And I don't know if you remember the movie a few years ago called The Secret, but I was like, The Secret ruined manifestation and ruined creation for everyone because it simplified everything so much, and there's so much of it that's accurate in my experience, but they miss some of it as well. And the thing that most people got from watching The Secret so many years ago was, well, if you just think of a red Ferrari, then you'll get a red Ferrari. It just kind of seemed like it was that simple. Just think about it and you'll have it. And what was missed in that, and the whole, it was such a huge movie and such a huge book. And again, there's so many great masters and teachers that were part of that project and that gave their input, which I totally respect and honor. And there's just part of it that I think was missed. So, to really manifest and create, it's not just think about a red Ferrari and the red Ferrari appears. If it were that easy, we'd all be doing it. But it's what's kind of missed in that is that you're actually the creator of all of this. And you also have a spiritual curriculum here on this planet, as we're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're not this physical form that we think we are. And quantum physics has proven that we're literally just molecules and atoms spinning around in space, but we stick together in this way that creates this human form, that creates furniture, that creates houses. It's just, we're still energetic particles that come together to create this human form. So what does that have to do with anything? I'm going to give you a few different ways to think about manifestation, to think about creation, because I know some of this can be like, wait, what is she talking about? We're energetic things put together. Because we're taught as human beings that we're humans and we're on this planet and things happen to us and we respond to them. And then we die, and then we go somewhere else. So, I'm talking basically to America, because, and so what's in America? Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism are kind of our main religions. And in some way, shape, or form, all of the major religions subscribe to this, that we're human beings, we're here on this earth, this is all real, and then we die, and then we go to heaven or someplace else. And really the creation and manifestation flips that on its head. The true ways of creating and manifesting, that we're actually spiritual beings having a human experience. Or if you want to say we're conscious beings having a human experience, we're consciousness that's actually creating this experience of reality. We're spiritual beings creating this experience of reality. So this is where I encourage you to open your mind to new possibilities, that your life, this human life, walking around this planet, eating your food, hanging out with your friends, might not be what you actually think it is. It might be a lot more than that. It might be that you're actually creating every moment of your experience. So and again, like, I'm just inviting you to open your mind to the possibilities. You don't have to take anything of what I say as truth. It's just try it on and see if it fits. If you can start to shift your point of view even a little bit, that's the start to actually creating a new experience of yourself, right? Because we all have this point of view of what our life looks like. So for instance, wherever you are right now, whether you're driving, whether you're sitting in your office, whether you're at the gym, whether you're at home, wherever you are listening to Fun for Life Radio and Rock Your Life with Arian Alexander, I encourage you to look to your right and think in your head, if you're like, this is what life looks like, and you look to the right and you see what it looks like to the right. So if I look to my right and I was explaining to someone what my life is in this moment, I'd say, oh, well, there's windows and there's shutters and there's a light and there's a plant and there's a water bottle and there's a computer screen, and that's what life looks like right now. And because that's my point of view. My point of view is to the right, and that's what I see. So therefore, that's how I interpret my life. Okay. So if I'm looking to the right, that's how I interpret my life. And that's what I say my point of view is. So for you, same thing. Look to your right. See what it looks like in this moment, and understand that's your point of view in this moment of your life. Now, if I turn my head to the left, and I encourage you to turn your head to the left, and what's your point of view of your life now? What's your point of view that you're actually seeing now? So I would say, oh, well, my point of view, my life experience right now is there's a door and there's a lamp and there's a picture on the wall and there's a bunch of files and paperwork and there's a watch on the table and there's a few different phones on the table as well. So that's my experience and my point of view of life when I look to the left. Completely different than when I look to the right. So this is the example of point of view. If I look to the left, I have one point of view. If I look to the right, I have a completely different point of view. If I look center, straight on, another point of view. So we as humans look at life through different points of view, and every single one of us has different points of view on our lives. So nothing is right or wrong or good or bad. It's just different points of view. So for you, can you imagine the possibility of shifting your point of view of what you think your life is and what you think you can actually create and what you think is possible? and just shift that point of view a little bit and see what comes from that place. Because this is the start of how you actually start to create your life, to be in dominion of your life. One of my teachers, I have a master's degree in spiritual psychology, and so I've delved into this territory of how creation, what it actually is and what it actually means in this human form for many, many years. And one of my teachers in the School of Spiritual Psychology would always say, outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. Outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. So think about that for a minute. Every single thing you experience in your outer world, which is what you see, what you experience, which is the room that you're seeing, the people that are in your lives, the great things that are in your lives, and what you call the challenges in your life. It's all a reflection of your inner reality. So, what does that mean? Your inner thoughts, your inner ways that you speak to yourself, your inner beliefs, your inner point of view of life and yourself, that is actually projected out into the world. And then the world simply reflects it back to you. So let's slow this down a little bit so you can understand very clearly what I'm speaking about. When I have a thought about myself that I can't do something, when I really believe the thought that I can't, for me, maybe it's like lift that weight or climb that mountain or, make that amount of money. When I have a thought that I think enough times, I can't do that. If I think it enough times, it becomes like a record groove in my consciousness, in my awareness, in my mind. It's a record groove. Some of you are too young to know what records are, but those of us that have listened to records, we know exactly what it is. It creates a record groove. And that record groove is what I'm going to believe. I can't do it. I can't climb that mountain. I can't lift that weight. I can't make that amount of money, whatever it is. So if I'm actually believing that and thinking that's my point of view, then my outer experience is going to reflect that. It is going to reflect to me that I don't climb the mountain, that I don't lift that weight, that I don't make that much money. And then what happens is, so it's a mirror. If you just think of life and experiences as a mirror, it's always reflecting you to you. It's always reflecting me to me. And when it's happy and joyful, I'm like, oh, I love this reflection of the mirror. This is amazing. Life's great. I have a great reflection. Then when it's challenging, I go, oh, no, it's not a mirror. Life's not a mirror. There's no way I can be reflected in this awful place and, with this much like pain or drama or whatever it is. But it's all the same. It's always reflecting you to you. So whatever's happening in your outer experience, whether you like it or you don't like it, it's reflecting you to you. It's reflecting what are your thoughts about yourself? What are your opinions about yourself? What is your point of view about yourself in your life? So when I think about, I can't do it, I can't climb the mountain, I can't lift the weight, I can't do whatever it is, can't make the money, then I'm going to project that out into the world, into my outer experience, and it's going to reflect it right back to me by not lifting the weight, by not climbing the mountain, by not making the money. And then I'm going to go, see, I told you so. I can't climb the mountain. I can't lift the weight. I can't make that much money. I just proved it. See, I can't do it. This is the loop that most people get trapped in. That you think the thoughts, you believe these limiting beliefs, you project them out into your world reflects it back to you, and then your ego basically gets to go, see, I told you so, proved it, you can't do it, and then you believe it, and then you continue that cycle. Okay? So it's like we're all just telling ourselves stories all day long. We're all just like making up stuff and telling ourselves stories about what we can and can't do. And then we think it's the world that's proving it to us. We think it's outside of us that's proving it to us. And it's this vicious cycle that just continues over and over and over again. If you've ever tried to lose weight, which most of us have, it's a perfect example. You try to lose the weight and you can't lose the weight, or you can't stay on the diet and you can't lose the weight. And then you go, see, like, I'm just meant to be at this weight because I can't do it. And then because you just approved it, like, I can't stop eating sugar because I just keep eating sugar. So clearly I'm just supposed to eat sugar. But that's just the cycle you're in because you believe that you can't lose the weight or believe that you can't stop sugar. But if you really believe you can lose weight and you take the actions to support it and you lose the weight, then you're going to lose the weight. But when you don't believe it, you don't see it, you don't think you can do it, you're going to stay in that cycle, and life is just going to prove to you over and over again. But it's not proving to you anything because it starts with you. It's your inner reality. Okay? So one thing that is very helpful to basically start shifting this is, again, like I said from the beginning, is to start shifting your point of view. Just, can you have the possibility that you can start shifting your point of view? And that's the starting point to actually understanding creation and manifestation. That outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. So can you see for places in your life where you have responded to something that's happening outside of you, but is there a possibility that it's your thoughts about it that actually created it? So the first part of this, shifting your point of view, is shifting the point of view to that you are the creator, that you are creating all of this experience, even when it's challenging. And I think that's where people get tripped up is, oh, I can't create it when it's bad. But what if nothing's right or wrong or bad or good? What if it just is? We just label it as challenging. We just label it as bad. We just label it as wrong. Because when you can start to understand that your consciousness is actually creating all of this, this is where the empowerment of self and dominion comes in. That your consciousness is creating this illusion of life that you think is real. It's just a reflection of your consciousness, of your inner reality. It's an illusion that's been created by consciousness, this human form. Like, consciousness just projects out this human form, these energetic molecules that stick together in the form of a person, of a house, of a car, whatever it is. But your consciousness is actually creating all of it. It's like a movie. It's like you're the creator of your movie. You're the writer. You wrote the movie. You wrote the screenplay. You're the star. You're the director. You've hired extras to be around in the city where you live. You've hired supporting actors to be in your family and your friends and your relationships. You've hired a prop department to come make the house and the car and the food and all that. But it's your movie. You're in charge of all of it. So this is where the fun comes in, when you continue to peel back the point of view that this human form is that you are just here to respond to what's happening, but you're actually the creator of the whole illusion anyway. That's when the fun begins. That's when you can start to go, oh, wait, I want to create it differently. It's like Play-Doh. When you really start to look at life like Play-Doh, then you can start to create it differently. Okay, this is fun. I hope you're having fun, and I hope your brain's getting jostled a little bit. It should. This is the whole point. You want your brain to get jostled because you've had a point of view of your life for so long that's one way, and it gets stuck in that rut. But when there are things in your life that aren't delightful and aren't making you happy and that aren't just like, doing what you want to do, then it's time to shake it up. It's time to look at things differently. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We are so happy to have you here. This is Fun for Life Radio. We're on the Dash Radio Network, and we are all about having fun. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Fun for Life Radio, your soundtrack to the game of life.
And we're back with Rock Your Life with me, Ariane Alexander. Today's a solo show. If you're just jumping in with us, whether you're driving across your city, whether you're sitting at home listening to Dash Radio, whether you're at the gym, on a walk, wherever you are, We've got so many cool shows on the Fun for Life Radio Network. So definitely listen to our music shows. We have a great mix of talk radio and music. Awesome DJs that come in and play their mixes. Awesome talk shows. One that I love is Truth in Tunes with Pili Montilla. She's a cultural music expert, and she interviews all kinds of awesome bands and producers and musicians from across the world. So you get a really cool background of how the music world works. So definitely check out Truth in Tunes with Pili Montilla. So Weird Edition about manifestation and how to manifest and how to actually create this life of your dreams that you're excited about. And what I encourage you to do is start to step back from this human form and think that you're actually responding to everything, and start to step back and look at it as that you're the creator of everything and life is responding to you, because your consciousness is creating all of this and life is responding to you. Your inner thoughts, your inner dialogue, your inner beliefs are what's actually creating this outer experience that you look at. So it's really flipping it on its head. Think of it this way. Things aren't happening to you. Things are happening for you. Things are happening because you're creating them. They're not happening to you. And this is where we get stuck in this, let's call it a victim mode in human form, is that, oh, this thing happened and da da da. And, oh, it's so bad. And, oh my God, I can't believe this thing happened. I can't believe that guy did that to me. I can't believe that woman did that to me. And we want to blame everything on this external experience. And that's common and that's okay. But there's another way to be that's a much, much, much more empowered way. That's a much more fulfilling way to live in life. And that's to take ownership and responsibility for what you're creating. Now, I don't mean blame yourself and make yourself wrong, because I've seen, I've been a life coach and a business coach for many, many years, and I've seen all kinds of people want to turn it on themselves. Oh, well, I created it, so then I'm a terrible person or whatever. No, it's not that. It's looking at life with a neutrality. What if there's no right or wrong or bad or good? And what if life happens as it does for you? With you. It's not against you. Life wants you, this human form wants you to thrive. We're on this human planet, like we're spinning through space on this thing called Earth, and somehow we're staying here. We got gravity holding us on. So you want to really start to think about, what if I'm the creator of all this? What if life is responding to me instead of me responding to life? And when you start to actually look at life and look at people as they're responding to you, not you responding to them. I've worked with a lot of women through the years in relationship coaching and dating and being in relationships with their sweeties, and it's very common for women to think that like men have the power, and they're like, well, I just have to, like, he makes the choices and I just have to go along with it, or whatever it is, like I have to wait for him to call, and whatever it is, like we think that we have to just respond to whatever the man is doing. And it's just, I've seen it so many times with women. And so what I always encourage the women to do is I'm like, what if men are actually responding to you? What if you think you're always responding to them? But what if you turn that around and the men are actually responding to you and your integrity and your leadership within yourself and your cues? And that shifts the whole dynamic. Because if a woman starts to be empowered in that men are actually responding to her instead of her having to respond to them, then she's understanding the situations better. She can be more at peace with the situation. She can ask for what she wants in the situation. She can ask for what she needs. So that's just a small example of when you start to actually understand that you're the creator and life is responding to you, that you can lean back and step, and it's like getting distance out of this human form of like, I can sit here and be like, well, I'm Arian Alexander and I'm sitting in this chair and I'm talking into a microphone and I have this radio show and da-da-da. And all that's true in the human form. But it's also this illusion that I've created that my consciousness wanted a way to create more, to reach more people, to help more people across the planet. So therefore, my consciousness created this thing called a radio show where I can talk to you no matter where you are in the world, because all you have to do is download Dash Radio on your phone and you can hear me and you can learn something and you can get inspired. So I wanted a way to reach people across the world. And what manifested out of that was this radio show, Rock Your Life with Arian Alexander. Sorry, my voice is I've been talking so much, my voice is a little scratchy today, but I'm sure you'll get it. So I hope this is really resonating with you and making sense. And again, if it's not, that's great, because I want your brain to jumble. I want it to get scrambled so you start thinking about things in a new way. Because if there's an old saying that's like, I'm going to screw this up, but it's basically like, if you think what you always thought, you're going to get what you always get, right? If you want to call it make $100,000, if you want to receive at least $100,000 this year in your business, and 200, whatever your number is, 250,000, $1 million, it doesn't matter what the number is. If you want to receive at least $100,000 in your business, are you going to reach that? Are you going to have that success by doing what you've always done and getting the same results? That's one of those things. Also says, like, that's the definition of insanity, like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So where in your life are you doing the same things over and over again, but expecting a different result? If your intention is to release a few pounds, are you going to eat the same way you've always eaten and exercise the same way you've always exercised or not exercised and expect to get a different result? Do you see how crazy that is? You would never be like, well, I'm just going to do the same. I'm just going to eat the same and not work out, and I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Like, you wouldn't say that, because like that can't happen. You wouldn't say like, well, I'm just going to work in the same job doing the exact same thing but I'm going to double my income by doing the exact same thing. Like, that's not how life works. Like, you wouldn't do the same thing to get a different result. So what do? You start to back away and shift this point of view. That's why I want to scramble your brain today and get you thinking about different points of view of how you can look at life, because that's how you're going to open up the possibility for what's next. That's how you start creating differently. You start looking at your life differently. You start looking at your actions differently. You start taking different actions. You start taking courageous actions. You start visioning your life differently. When you start looking at yourself and your life with possibility instead of what you can't do and all the reasons you can't do it, then you're going to start to open up new things, new ways to see, new eyes to see through. You're shifting this point of view. And when you start to peel back to get distance from this human form, to understand that you're creating the illusion of the human form. You're creating this whole experience. Outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. Your outer experience is not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's happening with you. Your dominion is what creates this experience. So it might, your dominion, your consciousness might create an experience that seems challenging, but it's actually here for you to grow. Because if it's a challenging experience, it's never just to make you feel like a piece of shit and be awful in your life. No, I'm sure you've had a million experiences in life that have been challenging or sad or hard or whatever you want to say about them. But on the flip side, when you're on the other side, you're like, oh, I learned so much from that. Like, oh, I see like how I learned. You can't have a challenging experience and be like, well, that was just a challenging experience just because it was a shit show and that's all. There's always something to be learned, no matter what it is. Some inner experience of yourself, how the story you're telling about yourself, the story you're telling about others, the thoughts and beliefs you have about yourself. It's always shifting. It's always here for you. And when you can really start to have this point of view, you loosen up in your life and you loosen up on this grip of right, wrong, good, and bad. And you start to go, oh, I'm creating this experience for myself somehow. Again, it's not to be used as a whip against yourself. Like, oh, I created this experience and oh my God, I'm such a piece of shit and I can't believe I did that. No, it's for you to go, okay, I'm the creator of this experience of life. And how can I use every single thing that happens on this human planet in this human form for my highest good, for my greatest learning and growth, understanding that I'm creating the illusion of all of it. So if I'm creating the illusion of all of it, if I'm creating this whole experience of life, everything I see and everything I experience, then it has to be okay because I'm the creator. I'm the dominion. I'm the consciousness that's creating it. So it's all okay, even when it's challenging, even when it's a shit show, even when I feel like a loser. It's okay. My consciousness has created all of it with loving. It's all with loving and for my highest good, even when it doesn't feel good. Okay? So how about we talk about some examples? And just so you know, you can always DM me on Instagram. I'm at Ariane Alexander. It's ARRIANE Alexander, ALEXANDER. You can go to my website. It's arianealexander.com. There's a contact form there. DM me on Instagram. Email me through my website, however you want. Get in touch with me. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you learned. Tell me what your questions are. When you're listening to Rock Your Life with Ariane Alexander, what are your ahas? What are your questions? What are you curious about? I love to hear the DMs from you and the questions, because obviously that's why I'm talking about this today, because I get so many questions from listeners and clients and people on Instagram all the time about manifestation and how do I create, and it can seem like this really hard thing. But when that's why we're talking about it, is when you can step back and go, oh wait, life's not hard. It's not hard to create. It's just my point of view that it's hard to create. It's my beliefs, and therefore then my actions that are taken on those beliefs is blocking me from creating what I really want. All right. So brains jumbled yet? I hope so. I'm like scrambling egg. I mean, your brain are like eggs. I'm scrambling them up today. All right, we'll be right back. You are listening to Fun for Life Radio on Dash Radio Network. Dash Radio has all kinds of cool stations too. Oh my gosh, we got Snoop Dogg. There was just a Justin Bieber pop-up. There's so many cool things here in Dash Radio. So we're really, really glad you're here, and I'll be back in just a minute.
Fun for Life Radio, because when fun gets deep enough, it can heal the world.
And we're back with me, Ariane Alexander. Solo show today, all about manifestation and creation, because I know you got something in your life that you want to create. So let me give you an example of a client of mine that has had a pretty interesting exploration of manifestation. And when she came to me, she was in New York City working as an actor. And she just wasn't, moving. She was in her early 20s and she just wasn't moving forward how she wanted to be. So she actually hired me to help her move forward in her acting career. And she did some things here and there, but it just was slow going. But she always knew she also wanted to help people. What came out of, when we would have our conversations, and she's like, oh, I'm creative and I love working as an actor. But it wasn't paying any bills, and it wasn't that fulfilling because she wasn't able to actually help people while she was doing what she was doing. And she was always like, God, I just really want to help people in some way. And so through the work we did together, so many things came out of what we did together. She started she started a meditation program, and she actually went to become a meditation teacher, a long program to become a meditation teacher. And that meditation helped get her out of her body and into this world of creation, this world of spirit, this world of source, instead of staying in this human form and thinking that this is all real and this is all like life. She was in New York City and it's hard and and all that. She was like, this stuff is happening to her instead of for her and with her. She started meditating and, really in that meditation seeing that like, oh, wait, life isn't what I thought it was. Life isn't just this human form living in busy New York City trying to get things done. So that helped her open up her mind, and through our work together, to looking at life through these different possibilities. And when she got really clear that she wanted to help people and she wanted to be of service somehow, the acting became less important. So, and then she started being a health coach, and she did that for a while. And she was like, oh, I really like this because I can help people with diet and nutrition. She was very well versed in that, and she could make money, and like that was all great. Ended up moving to Chicago, and that was another manifestation because she was like, I need to get out of New York City, and I want to move to Chicago, and boom, it was done. And the way that her manifestations have happened in all of this is that when she stopped looking at, like, as an actor, she could have gone, life isn't for me. It's against me because I'm not able to make it as an actor, and I want to, but I can't. That could have been her point of view. And it was when we first started working together. But then when she started shifting her point of view that she was the creator, that this experience of acting in New York City was here for her, but it was for her in a different way than she thought. It was for her to actually shift point of view that she really wanted to be of service to people, that the acting wasn't as fulfilling as she thought. It's fun to be creative, but she wasn't actually helping people in the powerful way she wanted to. So when she started to lean in to this way of being of service to helping people, everything changed. The Chicago opportunities opened up. She moved to Chicago. She's working as a health coach, working as a meditation coach. And then she never had to give up this acting and this creativity. It just wasn't about making money, and it wasn't about, being an actor on TV shows. She's a musician as well. So she started a band and has always been involved in music. So she still gets this creative fix. It's just not linked to her making money, and it's not the main priority. The main priority is to be of service. So she realized that outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. The inner reality was telling her first when she started that she had to be an actor, but there was also a deep-seated belief that she couldn't make it as an actor. There was a deep-seated belief that it wasn't for her. But she also had the deep-seated belief that she wanted to be of service. And so when she started listening to that, that's when the service manifestation came up. And that's when health coaching came up, and meditation coaching, where she could actually make a living and make a lucrative living doing those things. Moving to Chicago, still being involved in the creative arts. And with the thing about her being an actor and thinking she couldn't do it, it wasn't about couldn't do it with the acting. It's just the thought, like, I can't do it. It's just made it could be about, I can't make it as an actor. I can't make it as a health coach. I can't make it as a partner. I can't make it as losing weight. I can't make it as health, whatever it is. It was like, I can't do it. So it was just reflected in this form of acting. Okay. Outer experience as a reflection of inner reality. When I think I can't do something, life is going to reflect it to me somehow, some way. It was reflecting to her through the acting. I can't do it. So then we had to really start, helping her shift away from that belief, that record groove that said, I can't do it. And again, this is where point of view comes in. When she started to pull back from believing that she couldn't do it, and started pulling back, saying, oh, wait, I'm creating this whole illusion. I'm creating all of this experience. Outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. So as I start to look at life, as I have dominion over it, as I'm creating it, then I'm going to create a different experience. So she started actually looking at life differently, through a different lens, shifting the point of view even just a little bit, to continue to, what if I can do it? What if I can create something really amazing? Because my consciousness is creating all of it anyway. And then all of a sudden, it's like somebody asked her if they could hire her to do their social media. And she was like, sure, no problem. And she started doing this social media for someone and helping them with their website and all kinds of things. And someone else came in and was like, oh, can you help me with my website? And can you help me with my Instagram? And she started coaching them. And fast forward, like a year later, she has a awesome business as a social media coach and a social media expert. And she never intended to be a social media coach or social media expert. But now people are paying her a lot of money to help them with their businesses and to help them with their Instagrams. And how this comes into manifestation is, it's not up to you what the end result is. It's up to you to continue to lean in and move forward with what's in front of you and what's delightful and charming and sounds interesting. So my client that now has this lucrative business as a social media coach, she's still being of service, right? Her intention was like, how do I be of service? It's creative. She gets to be creative in graphics and images and music and how she wants to put things together for her clients. And she still gets to be in a band and do all her awesome creative arts work as well. So her manifestations came in a way different form. When I started working with her 6 years ago, she was an actor in New York City. Now, she lives in Chicago, and then she went through the different, kind of iterations of life. Became a meditation coach, became a health coach. Now she has this awesome business as a social media coach, never intending to do any of it, but just was following the path of life, saying, I get to create this experience however I want to. And then whatever kind of comes forward in that, she would lean in and follow that. Okay. So it's pretty exciting to think about when you start to shift your point of view out of this old story of yourself of I can't do it, or I'll never do it, or I don't deserve it, or I'm not worthy. When you start to tell a different story about yourself and look at life like you're creating it, you're not responding to it, it's responding to you, then things will start to show up differently. Now, it's your job to understand too, it's not always going to show up like you think it's going to show up. It can look really different. I'm sure you know tons of people that are like, well, my husband or my wife, I had this list of things and I wanted to, him to be 6'4" and brown hair and blue eyes. And I married a, 5'8" blonde haired green eyes guy or whatever it is, because the form isn't important how it shows up. Do you see? It's just, you might not manifest and create exactly how you thought it would look because life is working with you. Life wants you to thrive, and it's going to continue to bring us whatever's for our highest good. So it's up to us to shift point of view, to look at ourselves as the creators, to understand that we're actually creating this reality, but then giving it up and saying, okay, life, let's have some fun. It might look completely different than what I thought it was. And that can be challenging for you to release the control of what you think life should look like and what you think this experience should look like, because life's going to continue to give you whatever you need for your highest good to thrive. Okay. So really, it's so much of this is about following your intuition. I'm going to give you clear steps too, because I know that you like steps and you like a roadmap. So the first thing is just to start shifting your point of view, that you're actually creating this outer experience as a reflection of inner reality. You're creating this experience of life. You're the star, you're the screenwriter, you're the director, you're the producer. You hired the props people, you hired the extras, you hired the supporting actors, you hired all of it for your personal creation. And if you don't like that creation, if you're like, ugh, how would I create this? It's not about not liking it. It's just accepting that this is the moment. This is the movie you've written right now. And you can write a different movie. It's just the movie that you've had written. And then it gets a groove, a record groove in your mind. And you're like, well, this is life. But you get to recreate it, do it differently, write a new screenplay. Okay. Shifting this point of view. The second thing is visioning. I love visioning. I think meditation is amazing because it gets you out of your body and into this place of source, this place of truth. And when you get that distance, you can start to experience life in a new way. So meditation is huge. Visioning is huge because when you really, that's what I mean. Like, I'm a fan of vision boards and whatever you want to do, mind movies, however you want to get these visions of what you are creating in life into your system. Great. Whatever you need to do, because the visions of what you're creating and what you truly are is going to pull you through, because if you think about yourself and if you vision yourself in, let's say you want radiant health, or let's say you want to make six figures. We used that example before. When you visualize yourself making six figures over and over, and the joy in that, how you feel and what you can do for your friends and family, and what kind of home can you live in, and what excites you about it and what delights you about it. When you do that over and over and over again enough times, you're going to create a new record groove. Do you see? You're gonna create a new record groove, and then outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. So outer experience will shift. once you start to really own that vision and see yourself and believe it and be like, yeah, I can actually do it. It's not here right now, but I can do it. Then outer experience will start to reflect you differently to you. So I'm like, vision away, baby. However you want to do your visions, awesome. Third thing is lean in. You've got to lean in to what comes to you. So it's your job to use your intuition and your insight to lean in. You know, when you get that phone call from someone, when you get that synchronistic running into someone, listen to that, follow it, lean in, see what's there. Okay, because that's how you're going to make different choices and make new directions, by leaning in to what comes forward in life. Do what you always do, you're going to get what you always get. So lean into something different. The next step is taking courageous action. This is huge because in order for you to create something different, you have to take different actions. You can't eat the same thing that you've always eaten and exercise the same way that you've always eaten and lose 10 pounds. You've got to take courageous action to shift your eating habits, to get out the door to the gym, whatever it is. In order to make six figures, you can't just do the same thing that you've always done and expect to make, six figures, if that's, double, whatever it is, like whatever your number is. You've got to take courageous action in order to move that energy, in order to move through this human form. We've got to actually get engaged in life through courageous action in order to create different results. You're the creator of all this. You're writing the movie. So you write the movie differently, and you write, Arian, she takes courageous action today. She makes phone calls to people that she's scared to make phone calls to. She does a Facebook Live that she's scared to do. Whatever it is, write your screenplay that's with courageous action. That's how you're going to start seeing different results. So I'm always like, when my clients say, like, oh, I'm scared to do this thing, I go, you shouldn't have told me that, because now you have to do it. Do the thing that scares you, because that's how you're going to start shifting your energy, and you're going to get different results. And it's going to feel uncomfortable because you've been in your rut of how you've done life for so long. You're stuck in that record groove that it's going to feel uncomfortable when you start to take courageous action. And it should, because that's what it's about. Okay. So I hope this is really helpful for you today, because you are the creator of this experience of life. You are the manifester. Your outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. You are the writer of your movie. I'm saying it all these different ways because I know each of you hears things differently. So I'm hoping one of these will pop in and resonate, that you're like, oh, wait, I can see how I'm the writer of my movie. And I want you to walk around the planet just looking at life like, oh my God, I created the props department. I created the set for this. I hired the wardrobe. I hired, the supporting actors. Like, what if this is actually your movie of your life? And what does that look like? And how do you write it differently? And you write it differently by understanding and knowing that you are writing this movie of your life. You are creating this illusion of this human form. And when you start to write the movie differently, life will show up differently. When you start to write the movie that I'm, oh yeah, this is all possible. I can create six figures. I can lose the 10 pounds. I can have radiant health. I can create this partner. And you don't even have to fully believe it in this moment, but it's just understanding that you're creating this illusion of reality. You're creating this movie, and then you start to vision it. You start to take the courageous action steps. You lean into the synchronicities and miracles that come your way. And that's when you'll see things start to change. How exciting is that? Oh my gosh. All right, my loves, I'm going to wrap. And this has been so fun just to chat with you like this today. And like I said, I love to hear from you on Instagram. I'm at Arian Alexander on Instagram, and it's ARRIANE Alexander, ALEXANDER. I love to hear when you message me and you're like, oh my God, I heard you on the radio show on Fun for Life Radio and Dash. So tell me your ahas. Tell me your questions. If you'd like to be a guest that I can laser coach you, tell me that too. Maybe you'll be a fit for laser coaching. Or you can go to my website, arianalexander.com. And I am a life coach and a business coach. I work one-on-one with private clients, and I have group coachings too. So if you're interested in coaching, you can just shoot me an email or message on Instagram, and I can share more about that with you. And my parting words is, you got this. You get to shift your mindset. You get to shift your point of view. You deserve it. You are worthy of it. And once you start going down this road, oh boy, the sky is the limit, and you're going to have some fun in your life. Okay, my loves, until next week, this is Rock Your Life with Arian Alexander. See you next time.